Alright boys and girls, a couple quick things before we get into today's video. I'm doing a giveaway. If you haven't seen that video, the link is in the description, but you can win one of two pretty cool gaming mouses. So go check that out, pretty simple to enter. I think there's only something like 20 or 30 people entered in it, so your chances are pretty damn good. Second, I've finally turned on super thanks, and boys and girls, I will be giving away 69 gold to the first person that leaves a super thanks on one of my videos. Alright, so don't miss out. Don't miss out on that 69. I might even throw in a potato if you're lucky. And if you're really lucky, a lemon as well. But anyway, boys and girls, let's get into today's video. Something a little bit different. We'll be doing ZeniMax's job for them, and we're going to go buff and nerf some sets. So this is just for some fun, so don't take it too seriously. But that being said, if you disagree with me on some of this stuff, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section on what you think and what we should have done. Couple rules out of the way first. One, if there's a mechanic behind a set, I want to try and keep it to the best of our ability. And you know, we don't want to just utterly change a set, because that kind of defeats the purpose of buffing and nerfing a set. There will be some scenarios somewhere down the line that we may have to rework sets completely that just make no sense or just ridiculously stupid in the first place. We'll try and keep the soul of a set the best we can. Secondly, I want you guys to keep in mind this is coming from a solo PvP perspective, so I'm going to have that biased. And I've tried to kind of not have that bias, but I'm always going to instinctively have it. So keep that in mind. And thirdly, yes, we will be looking at Oakensoul. I have a simple fix for it. So without any further ado, let's get into it, boys and girls. Alright, so some of the easier ones out of the way first. Torcs, I think, is still decent-ish at the moment. Come next patch, I think it just needs a little bit of love. So upping that threshold up to 60% from 50%, I think would be a great change for this set. I did consider, you know, making it so your mag pool gets below 50%, you get mag recovery, but I think that would just make this set too strong and too good and, you know, take away that building requirement that you need to use Torcs. Like, you need to balance your stat pools to get the most out of Torcs, and making that change would kind of get rid of that. So yeah, I think just raising the threshold to 60%, Torcs is done, easy, fixed. Let's move on. So another pretty easy mythic to change in my opinion was Sithis. I think just removing this as a helmet would open it up and give a lot more build possibilities with this mythic. Now there is potential for it to be a little bit too strong on some classes like Nightblade, so maybe it does need a bit of more tweaking as far as maybe the health recovery or the max health it gives, but I think just getting rid of it as being a helmet will definitely help and make this more viable in more situations, because at the moment it's kind of just a Nightblade mythic in most scenarios. So I think doing this would definitely open it up to a lot more possibilities. Alright, Markin, or however it's pronounced, fuck me, I butcher it every time. Just, once again, like Torcs, need just a little bit more love next patch to stack up against some of the stronger mythics that are coming out, and giving it 150 weapon damage and spell damage and 1.5k armor, I think will just raise it up and make it a viable stat-based mythic. Now, a lot of people may say this could be really strong in scenarios like my build where I'm running trainee and agility and I'm getting 3 stacks of this. But you've got to remember that that's kind of a purely stat-based build, so you're kind of giving up the options of running proc sets. So there is a bit of a downside to it, and pure stat-based builds, I think, in my opinion, should be stronger than proc-based builds. So let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with that. It's a belief that I've had for a while now. Let's move on. Alright, so now we get into some of the harder sets for me to kind of make my mind up and try and work out what would make them viable without them being too strong in some scenarios. So first up is Snow Treaders. I've tossed and turned about this. This is probably the one that brought up the most discussion in my discords that I've been talking to people about this with. But what I settled on, and let me know in the comment section if you still think this is too broken OP, but is while you're in combat, you're immune to snares, and it also doubles your CC immunity, your natural CC immunity. So not stuff from immovable pots and so on. So basically, when you broke a CC, you'd get 12 seconds of CC immunity, but you cannot, you're not immune to roots anymore or mobilizations, just snares. And I've also removed the sprint part of this. So definitely got potential to be strong in bowl groups, but I think removing the root and mobilization immunity is a bit of a trade-off, but I just wanted this set to be viable outside of bowl groups. And for it to, as a solo player, for it to be viable for me, it needs to do something like this. And I don't think realistically it's going to be game breaking in a bowl group. Maybe, as I said, other people have different opinions, and that's fine. You know, we'll all allowed to have different opinions. So yeah, that's what I ended on. I did originally think about giving it some speed, but other mythics do that, so I kind of thought this was a good compromise. Alright, Oakensoul. Let's bet most of you guys just hanged around to see what we're gonna do with this. What a fucking journey it has been with old Oakensoul. It come out, it was fucking OP. ZeniMax had a little hissy fit, nerfed it into the ground, made it useless, and then the whole community was in outrage that they made it useless. And ZeniMax, in their typical form and shape, acted like a 2-year-old child fucking throwing a hissy fit and literally buffed the fuck out of it. The patch notes for this kind of just disgust me, actually, because the wording with it, what? It's like, they call people sweaty. The developers used the word sweaty. I don't think they like us very much. It's like, oh my god, guys, we gave you a strong set, you cried about it. We made it weak, you cried about it. Well, here, we're fucking doing what we want, prick. That's literally what it screams of. But anyway, my fix for Oakensoul is pretty simple. Get rid of one of the major defense buffs and one of the major offense buffs. So I think Force needs to go, in my opinion, either major heroism or major protection. Either, but personally, I'd probably like to see, it's hard, because some scenarios I'd much prefer to see heroism go, and others I'd rather see protection go. But as long as they get rid of one of each of those, I think Oakensoul will be fine. As I said, I understand that they want to make it viable, but they've also got to understand that a 1-bar build shouldn't be as strong as a 2-bar build, because it takes a lot less skill to play. So they've got to keep that in mind. Unfortunately, I don't think they care about that. They're trying to make this game as easy as they can for new players, and that is a very dangerous, slippery path to go down. And unfortunately, ZeniMax has been slipping down that path for some time now, and it doesn't look like they're slowing down. But anyway, let me know, guys. Let me know. There's a lot more sets we've got to get through, but unfortunately, I can't do them all in one video. So hopefully in the next one, we'll tackle some of the other mythics. And let me say this. A lot of the other mythics are nowhere near as simple as what these ones have been today. We had a look at this on stream, and yeah, a few of them have got me left scratching my brain, so hey, that should be interesting. So make sure you subscribe, and if you're here, I want to remind you guys about our mouse giveaway we're doing. The link will be in the description for the video that you need to go watch, but if you want a chance of winning one of these 2 bad boys, go check that video out. And as always, guys, I love yous, and I'll catch yous in the next one. Peace.